Maybe.
We're live.
All right. Y'all, no tweets given. No signal flares gone out because you probably got the itis. You're probably still at home in bed, having that pumpkin pie last night put you out. Maybe a couple extra shots of that brown liquor made you sleep a little bit better. But we're love 40 down. As the match slips away from me, I reach the crowd and pray for me. But it's this morning, Stevie, we might need a prayer, like a prayer from you to send one up here, man, to make it through on your post-Thanksgiving, early Friday morning, ultra declassified, not 2K fave, I guess. Well, we didn't set up the tweet. Locker room here at hackerhamin.podbean.com. YOLO! Stevie, trying to get some energy going here this morning, man. Get some Vince shoulders going. Drugs, pal. Get it going. I wasn't too pleased with my performance on the Conspiracy Horsemen, so I got to edit that today. And, we've been burning the midnight oil, man. Big deals, a lot of secrecy, and things that are out in the open as everything just keeps chugging forward, man, as we approach the end of the year with breakneck speed, man. Just can't believe. Think about when we met with Fox on June 12th with Russo, how that doesn't seem like it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago to me sometimes, you know what I mean? How fast time ripped by this summer and this fall already in the blink of an eye, man. Shows how busy we've really been. Good morning, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I would like to ask you a question about that. Why is it with time is a funny thing, that it blows by that quickly, but as we watch these shows, it feels like it slows down to an enormous crawl. It's weird the way time works.
Yeah. And if time is it's just a self-imposed construct, right? Possibly. So what is the reason why our minds even perceive things like that in phases we can go in? It's an interesting point for sure.
So, and that's the whole thing to it. I think it goes down to, obviously, if you're doing something you love, if you're doing something you like, if you're interested or having fun, time obviously goes by. So I wonder what the mental makeup or the chemistry, because people who work 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 or whatever, especially now with retail and these Black Friday hours, how much does time drag and how does that connect mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually to somebody that feels like they're dying inside and the time just goes?
Yeah.
It's a heavy fight. We can do an entire episode on the Horsemen just on that without ever figuring anything out.
Sure. We even talked a little bit about the Frequency show 2 weeks ago, NXT stuff, and of how we're just in tune to certain things that way, and it meets certain criteria for the human DNA almost in how we're constructed. Big shout out this morning. I see in the chat room, Buckshot Kid, Voices of Misery in there. Black Shreds, JB Railsford, Ziggy Balls. Shout out you guys, man, for joining us here and your post-Thanksgiving blowout. Hopefully you guys don't have to work today and you get a long weekend. It's going to be work tonight with SmackDown to get through another one. Yeah, I know, right? You always forget, like, oh, shit, it's Friday.
Yeah, I put up this morning because if people are going to shop and spend money they don't have, I was plugging my Amazon page to try to do that. I'm going to throw that in the chat real quick. People can bookmark that and do whatever they need to do with it. I just
appreciate it.
Yeah, that just helps get the equipment and the upgrades and pay for Dropbox and other stuff that we need. So, but we got what's today's Pro Wrestling Tee sale? Isn't there like a 10-day, 10 different things going on?
Yeah, there's 10 days to everything. Let me see if I can find it real quick right here.
My wife was talking about yesterday on the episode 15 that we uploaded for thanks. Giving. Yeah, she was like, it's this and that. And I was like, I don't know. I don't go to the fucking site. I just see the emails come through.
My father-in-law, or excuse me, my brother-in-law's father-in-law. Yes. So no real relation to me. He's pumped about it. And not that I faved him, but he couldn't wait because I was going to get him one for Christmas, but he bought a Conspiracy Horseman shirt off of there. So I was pretty happy with that. I didn't even realize that he had, so I usually don't check all of the data I have coming in, but Pro Wrestling Tee stooges it off, man. They give us your home address, your phone number, everything, dude. When they ship.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about privacy.
No. Let's see. 10 days of Black Friday sale. any orders first day will get, well, that's already the Wrestle Crate. Any order over $100 gets a free signed 8x10 by a wrestling superstar. Any order over 150 gets free domestic shipping US. 40% off Pro Wrestling Tees logo merch. I got to put that over, man. They have those $6.99 Pro Wrestling T-shirts. I got a green one and a blue one. And, dude, they're probably, I don't know what it is. They feel more comfortable than any other pro wrestling T-shirt I've ever worn.
Really?
Yeah, like that. The green one's like that brushed cotton, and the wives go crazy for it. Makes my arms look big. It's got the tight cuffs on it. And then the blue one's a nice, thicker, heavier material, and it's different than the average one they have there. So if you're looking just to get some PW T-shirts to stun on for $6.99 at 40% off, right? You're getting shirts for just about $4. And I got to say, those two shirts were probably the two nicest ones I wear out out of all the PW T-shirts I got, man. Funny. Let's see here.
Yeah, but don't buy those. Buy ours.
Yeah, buy ours. Absolutely. Let's see. 35% off Super Kicks high tops. They're doing shoes now. 30% off New Japan owned merchandise. 25% off AEW owned merchandise. And 20% off everything else. No coupons needed, you guys. So, yeah, doing it real big over there. In Chirac, I'm sure they're killing it this week, man, for Christmas, and everyone's taking advantage. I got to put in.
Is that a pun? Chicago killing.
Yeah, that's just easy.
Do you imagine Chicago on a Friday, a Black Friday? Like people are getting shot on regular Friday. Can you imagine how hyped up people are who have guns illegally and going shopping and really want that TV? My wife is out there right now. She said everything is dead here. So maybe people finally smartened up and said,
I kind of feel that it has swung back a little bit. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I smartened up to the online. Oh, well, it's all work. And I can, this thing started November 1st and there's going to be Cyber Monday deals. Why should I go out and waste gas and my time when, dude, there's Black Friday sales online on every single store that you don't need to go anywhere to get anything if you are so inclined to get whatever. I can order something from Micro Center and go pick it up in 18 minutes. I don't have to wait in line.
Even Walmart now, you can roll right up and load it right in the car. They got all the shopping done for you. So, yeah, I hope, we are getting away from the madness. The consumerism will always remain, but, hopefully the love thy brother plays in a little bit more, that or ignore thy brother, because, those scenes of people trampling each other in the early 2000s for the fucking madness, like, brutal, man, brutal. I always think see a body, catch a body coming through the rye, catcher in the rye with that shit of like, his whole thing was he had, the catcher in the rye, the kids are running through the field so he doesn't, as they head to the cliff blindly, it was his job to smarten them up and take care of them. And we shoulder a lot of that burden ourselves. I'm big, absolutely big Holden Caulfield influence on me when I was a young man. So, I'm glad to see that maybe some of the madness is subsiding a little bit. The pendulum swinging back. Sure, you're going to have the Nancy Browns out there doing it just for the war stories that they think anyone's impressed with, but nobody really is. Triple D in the chat room up there at Dippin' Donuts. Probably I just put up a post there for, you want to talk who's out there for Black Friday doing it, though, is that's the refuel stop in CNY. Get your double latte, get a espresso shot, get a croissant in you, and get the fuck back out there and kick somebody's ass, I guess. So shout out to you, buddy. I just put out the Facebook post. I'll hit them up with Instagram and Twitter when we're done with the show. And as always, you guys, you don't got to leave your house to get the best Zordos olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, his new project there. Selling for $29.99 online on sale with free shipping. Perfect for the foodie chef, or if you just want to, support a brand member in one of their endeavors. We're not going to sell you anything but the best stuff from our brand, and obviously ZordosOliveOil.com, which is Triple D's family home label for his ultra premium extra virgin olive oil. You guys, I guarantee whoever you give that to in the foodie in your life is going to love it. So.
Yeah, make sure you share it in the group because I saw someone bought it and shared it in your group this morning, I think, or yesterday.
Yep, they bought it at 11:30 last night. So I don't want to dox people totally. If they want to put it over, they can, with group members. Yeah. But I just put it in there. ZordosOliveOil.com, you guys.
Speaking of support, once again, early this morning, I went out with this thing. I went out and I got a couple different stars. One which really weird. I zoomed in on one and it was once again the nucleus type thing. And then I zoomed in on another one. It was on the other side. Like I went upstairs, like on both sides of the apartment complex. No moon, by the way. Really strange how I couldn't even find any moonlight or source of it. Really strange phase. I'll have to look that up. But the other one was like, looked like a little sun that it wasn't. And it was like same thing, jumping around, kind of like floating and pulsating. But I couldn't zoom in and get the nucleus thing. It was such, I mean, it's good. I use a Star Walk app and I basically point it up. I screen record and I do the other thing. I don't know anything about I'm just pointing it. I still haven't changed the settings, but that video will be up tonight as we're recording this. And probably.
Do you have Google Star Maps on your phone?
No, I just got like Star Walk 2. It was the first one in the App Store. I'll get the Google one. It's probably more accurate. Probably gives you information too, right?
Yeah, that's the only one I ever use, but it's unbelievable just to hold it up, man. And now wherever point on earth, dude, it just wobbles and like he picks out everything, tells you where everything is. It's so
this does that too, but it's a free version. So obviously I'm looking at like I don't want to buy fucking Audible or do anything like that. I can steal books. I don't need that.
Shout out also to Brendo719. Spent the week in the hospital. He says in the chat, I caught up on all the past episodes, hopefully out there today. I believe that's my man Brendan Doherty, who I came up with as I docked somebody from incredible guitar player, you know, right in that vein of unbelievable Nirvana, you know, just a great musician. But he showed me a picture of his hand, man. He had a huge gash and hole behind his thumb and hand and was getting that worked on, dude. So I sent him that 2-man power trip that I did with those guys to take his mind off, and he loved it. But huge supporter and another incredible artist that I've been able to see flourish from childhood to doing everything, you know, that he's become, and just another great supporter for us, man. So Brando, I appreciate you going through the lexicon, man. Sorry that, you know, he also works with his hands too. I believe he does construction and whatnot too. So hopefully he heals up pretty quick here, man. Kind of funny last night, sister-in-law or you know, wife 248 is a surgeon, and you guys have seen it before, but you won't see it anymore. That bubble that was on the arm that I always have, we did some post-dessert surgery last night. She cut it out of me on the bathroom floor and put a stitch in there. No anesthetic or anything. She had all, you know, stuff straight out of the hospital that was sterilized shit, man. I'm sitting there on the bathroom floor while she cuts that little gimmick on my arm, and it was just crazy, man. So some badass shit going down last night and one stitch in there. So yeah, funny stuff, man.
Did it hurt?
No, just the little burn when she had to do the stitch at the end, you know what I mean? Because it was cystic, and I got that 2009. I remember going off the ropes in Rip's class, and I came and it bit me, and I had either an ingrown hair or something like there, and it just blew up. And like, then it went back down, but it was always like a little marble in there. And then the last 4 or 5 years, it really started to surface and then just be on the top, and you could touch it and I couldn't feel it or anything, you know, it just felt like a fatty deposit. But dude, I had it for 10 years on my bicep. It was just enough was enough. And I ribbed her and I was like, yeah, after dinner, we can do a little minor surgery. She's like, I'll bring stuff home. I was like, okay. And sure as shit, after dessert last night, in 10 minutes, we were strutting and cutting upstairs on the bathroom floor. And she's a boss, man. She actually, I'll stooge this off because I've been tested to be a possible liver donor for someone. And you know about this, and the testing was very vigorous to be a match possibly, you know, and still it'll be a long ways down the road, but if it happens. But she was going to be on rotation in the spring, and she's like, please, if you do it, don't get it scheduled, because I don't want to have to be the one cutting on you with my, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. So last night we did a little pre-run just in case anything happens. I guess she was fine cutting on me then, man. But you know, it was an interesting. It's a Thanksgiving I'll never forget. The day I had surgery in the bathroom after Thanksgiving. Yeah, man. But I'm glad that thing's off my goddamn arm. I can get back to Stevie Richards Fitness, building size, and not have to look at it and go, damn, look at that thing.
I hate that too. That happens as you get older. I got a couple of those from leaning out, gaining weight, and little ones like around the edge of my, they don't really pop out. But if I if I really, really leaned out and carb depleted and stuff, they would come out.
Yeah.
It would look a little sick.
Yeah, I've got a couple throughout my body, and I think that's just being a man or a human and what you get. I've seen that on deer when we carve them out, and when we skin them, you'll pull them back, you'll find 2 or 3 fatty tumors like that on some of them too. So I think that's just part of being a mammal, man. Your skin's going to react to an infection, encase it in some epidermal layer, and that's it. You just go on about it. But our own vanity drives us nuts. Buckshot Kid says he loves the P900. Great camera. We're talking about it. Actually, hopefully get a call today from my man Steve Ledeen at Optics Planet. See if he's got an extra Celestron or one that we can get for 6 months maybe to do reviews with. And
whatever we might be of, the best way we can use an iPhone, an iPad, or anything else to, even have an A6500, a DSLR, anything that we can record some really good high quality pictures and take some enhanced photos, because the P900 is great for what I'm doing. But imagine if you had the sharpness of a DSLR shooting in RAW and 4K and to make up for what the P900 can't do, and then do a 2-camera shoot with it.
Well, this Celestron is going to give you, if we can get one, hopefully. I showed you, they start at 1,500, go up to about 20 grand.
Yeah.
So hopefully if we can get something mid-range there, dude, we can be zoomed right in like never before.
My wife, obviously, because she's not about materialistic stuff, but she has way too much stuff in her hands. I have to unlock the door.
Yeah.
Fucking Black Friday. I'll be right back.
Yeah, a lot, you guys. So hopefully, you get your deals, but in the consumerism, what's up, man. There's smart things to spend your money on, and winter's coming, as the quote goes. So store your nuts carefully, little squirrels, because it's a cold one ahead. As we try and heat things up here, twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, hacker Hamin.podbean.com, Russo's brand.com, and then patreon.com/Russo TWC. Stevie and I had a lot of fun this week doing Master Shoot Theater. Another one. Just really good for us to get in the zone and just have a little fun and some laughs, man, and just see what comes out of it organically has been great. I also cut a pretty serious promo on my experience with NWA so far, and who knows where that's going to go, because people keep asking me strange things happen, and I can't tell 2/3 of my opinion, because I wouldn't be doing a justice to my listeners if I didn't say what's what. Sure, there's things we have to kayfabe you on, A, because you're civilians, and B, because we have to protect our career and the business that we are in. But when opportunity is supposedly given, or there's, a chance to do something, and then it's slapped down behind the scenes, just not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to dance for people that don't have the guns to shoot at my feet. They don't have the bullets. You know what I mean? They might have the guns, but they don't have the ammo to shoot at my feet, man, where I can fire back anytime I want. It's just got to be a smart businessman. And how much do I want to play the bullshit ass kiss game? And, when it comes to situations, I feel like I don't need to participate in, and I can sit back and wait, because I can see things farther. I have farther vision and foresight than short-sighted. Now, gimme. I'll stay on that road, because I got the guys riding shotgun with me know exactly which way things are going. They know they've been down that road before, so it's not me blindly driving. So if you run a real to this week, not being an asshole, but just time to talk honestly, whether it was on 2-man power trip with John from Franchises Crew, that one went really well and real honest. And then on Patreon this week, you guys. So as first of the month approaches and people want to sign up or renew, I don't think you'll be disappointed in this week's Patreon whatsoever.
I think the theme with wrestling, and I know it happens a lot of other places and everything, but I think we've gotten to a point too where we watched so many terrible, horrible, flawed people not only fail upwards, but keep really good people out of that opportunity, or out of the circle, or out of the business, essentially, too. Sure. And it really is like no good deed goes unpunished type stuff. From nice guys finish last, whatever saying you won. And these people literally laugh and they'll tell stories about what terrible people they are and still profit off it. And people think it's like novel, or it's like a cool little, I don't know. I've seen the real evil that these people can do and continue to do in a way. And they get lauded and treated like they're stars because they're in a spot that's perceived.
Right.
The truth with all these people, and you can think about who we're talking about and figure it out. The people are in power who claim to be so great and be able to put out results, that the results are obviously not what they're promising.
Proof's in the pudding, right?
Proof is in the pudding. Truth is in the actions. Proof is really in the ratings and in the money. And let's take out the Saudi money and the Fox money, and let's see how a place like WWE, how profitable they're off of their creative, promotional, marketing. Internally, they're about as dead as possible, and without the infusion of that big money. And
yeah, that's a good point. You take that money away, and what do you really have there of value? Even compared,
you have early 1990s, right before you have Duke the Drumster, not the talent I'm talking about, but the days of the Goon, the days of that's the creative that we have right now. That's right on par with what's going on.
Yep.
The athletes are a million times better. And let's not kid ourselves. These guys and girls that are on TV right now can do things we can't even dream of doing. But
I don't need to do
we don't dream of doing it because we have it up here.
Right.
We have the why and the why not, and when not to. Those four things right there make a great match, make a great angle, make a great story, sell merch, sell tickets, sell pay-per-views. That's the stuff that's missing today. But getting back to these people, just to finish it up, they're just carny, and all they do is just keep figuring out a different way to tell the same exact bullshit story, block out other people, and keep themselves only safe for a short amount of time. Because guess what? There's new and hungrier scumbags that are coming up to take their spot. There's always somebody new and always somebody that's willing to do just a little bit more than that current scumbag to take the spot. But we're trying to change the paradigm of that stuff.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. That paradigm shift, because they've kind of gone to the end of it where they eat their own, and then they need somebody to come in who's an outside voice, just like they did in 91, 93, to say, dude, you guys suck at what you're doing. You can't see anything right now. So Voice of Misery taking off for work. Shout out to you, bro. Have a good one. Sucks that you got to work today. 37 custom toys in the chat as well. Hope you're having a good one.
I still got to get him the pictures for the action figure.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm sure crank them out over the holiday break. You ready?
No.
Okay.
Let's do it anyway.
Vince McMahon, pal, reportedly furious over Seth Rollins calling out CM Punk on Monday Night Raw. Last night's edition of Raw, so this is from Tuesday, obviously, was the town hall meeting. Of course, given the show took place at the Allstate Arena just 1 week after Punk's debut at Backstage, and interactions between him and Rollins on late as of social media, the Windy City faithful greeted Rollins immediately with loud chants for the former record-setting WWE champion. Rollins then doubled down on recent challenges he made to Punk, saying, "Hey, look, guys, I tried to get him here. I'm sorry he didn't want to show up. He wants to sit behind a desk in LA talking about changes he's too afraid to make for himself." So, according to Meltzer Seltzer, Vince McMahon was furious backstage at what Rollins had said. Obviously, this is not the first time superstars have directly responded to Punk's chants on live TV, but it's no secret that McMahon has always been to believe that you don't tease something, and this would go double for a major match in a major hometown market that you're never going to deliver on. Well, why the fuck would you not deliver on it?
How many things has Vince promised that he hasn't followed through? How about that?
Yeah, I didn't get into it because I respect him a shit ton. I look forward to actually meeting him because it's kind of like our interaction online. We had a lot of respect for each other for a year before we ever even met. face to face, really. And Jimmy Corderas, I like Jimmy Corderas's little reference that he has going on Twitter. If you're not following Jimmy Corderas, you actually should be. And I got, because he talked about this segment, and I go, dude, I mean, it's a no-brainer in Chicago. You let Seth promo, you hit Cult of Personality, out he comes, cuts the promo on Seth and set it up. Like, to not do it just because he's in LA for whatever reason, that way, another mega missed opportunity. Because and I'm not saying to do it unannounced, but you kind of got to, even though I've talked about this, getting my tit slapped for doing that. But Rollins is there. It's post pay-per-view. People know what's going to happen. You say town hall meeting, sell it. And in Chicago, if he would have shown up, dude, he would have broke the internet in the first 5 minutes, and everybody would have tuned in. You would have got 500,000 people. You would have gone from a 2.1 to a 2.7 in 10 minutes. And then if you were really smart, which you're not, you would have interwoven a thread that let people know that Punk's going to be doing something in the end and try and hold them to the end of the show. But we didn't get any of that. We get furious Vince McMahon, Seth going into business for himself, or as some has said, is this a total work where Seth and Vince are in on it together, trying to work the boys in guerrilla to make Vince look bad, so it seems organic. So when it does leak out, they're not like, oh, Seth and Vince are setting up to set up Seth and CM Punk. Your thoughts on all that, Steve?
You're still spending way too much energy if you're wanting to work the boys. That never really drew a dime.
But that kind of came out like in the sheets that some people who, you know, workers are going to be like, not believe anything. So
we're still not going to believe it anyway, even if no matter what you do.
Right.
This is probably going to be a very unpopular thing, but I think the money is probably in Punk versus Hunter, because there's so much reality in that. Here's the thing. It's so real that I think the reason why Punk isn't coming back, and because Punk will spike the rating, because Punk will spike the interest, is it'll make Triple H look bad to some degree. And he won't be able to resist coming back to try to work an angle with him and say he's the reason why it's the same games we just talked about these other people are playing. Punk will be there, but Hunter will attach himself, get the fake win. And this is just like, dude, if it sounds petty, this is the same guy within the office, and I was with the company, and it was up on the discussion group. It's 100% true that there was a memo put out years ago that Hunter will never look in a vulnerable position in any of the video game footage. If you're that interested, if you're that into protecting your own spot and not looking weak at all, do you think he's going to not try to take advantage of looking strong against Punk?
Even his placement in NXT, where he's in the center of the ring, it's supposed to be about the NXT brand. What's the final go home shot? Game. You know, like even when he's supposed to be the father of things, he can't get out of his own way.
But this is where the confusion is too. The Punk Hunter thing could be whatever it could be. You know, you determine who the baby face, who the heel is. Obviously, Punk will probably be the baby face, but you still let it play out where both guys have sort of a point, and they speak the truths. Like you said, truth in comedy, truth in these promos. But Hunter can't be a heel that attacks Raw and SmackDown and then be a babyface on NXT. And then the casual fan is just like, either this is incredibly fake or I'm so confused. I'm watching football. I don't care about this.
Yeah.
But am I right though? This 100%. Is, you know, and also everybody, I think they're going to be hurt for a very long time after Survivor Series, because you essentially killed the heat in any angle for this fucking team warfare bullshit, the brand warfare, the brand loyalty. It killed everything on the male and female side that they may not be able to even recover a little bit until after the Rumble. If they even promote the matches like last year, they promoted the matches like we only had like 2 matches up until like a month before fucking WrestleMania, right?
Right. Or even the last like off pay-per-view, there was only 3 announced after Saudi. Remember, it was like, what? Who knows who's wrestling? But I'm not going to sit here much longer, Stevie, and let you down, you know, the big payoff of War Games when we're sitting on the edge of the first ever women's TLC match, and headlines like this. Naomi claims she's fueled with relentless drive. Quote, I know I'm the ish. That means I'm the shit, Stevie. That's a hip hop thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Naomi took to Twitter this week claiming that she is fueled with relentless drive as she promises to continue working hard in her career. I was going to say she's fueled with relentless drive because her husband had his license taken away, so she's driving a lot.
Jesus Christ.
After a fan had asked for opinions of Naomi on social media, the vast majority of others spoke about how they feel she is underrated and underappreciated in WWE. Naomi saw all comments and stated she agrees with many and has felt the same way during her career, adding that she's fueled with a relentless drive and strength. Naomi stated that she knows she's the ish, and the former SmackDown Women's Champ promised to continue to work harder in her career for more people to see that. From Trinity Fatu, from Funkasaurus, backup dancer to where she is now. You can't hate on her progress from a low stakes to mid stakes character, and her athleticism and dance ability speaks for itself. But that glow up and all that shit was a good gimmick, but she's a strong baby face. Got to turn her heel, in my opinion. Like, let her be militant and a bad bitch, because for her to come back after being sidelined, that would look like she has drive to come back out and do the dance and clap for the little kids. That's just going to put her right back in the lower to the middle part of the pack. Getting her shit in and moves that'll be like a 2 to 3 week pop. So she needs something with real teeth if she's coming back around. And this time would be a good time to really do something small and all that shit with her, I think, man. I'd hate to put her in it, but in my opinion, she could be the dose of reality in the Bobby Lashley Lana thing to break it up and end it. I could see her using her as that, but that's not going to get her anywhere, really.
2 questions. Why did they call her off, and why did they call the Usos off?
Oh, DWI.
Well, I just think they called her off out of nowhere without putting a bunch of people over or doing any kind of angle to take them.
She was injured, wasn't she? She had an injury. She was off.
She might have been, but once again, when somebody gets injured, don't you do some kind of angle to get heat on somebody so they go away rather than just say, hey, I'm hurt, I'm going away, or don't say anything. If it is the DUI, here we go with, like, make that the show. Because now there's a reason. Now, if you are on Twitter and you are selling for fans that are just asking you questions, like I really hate that, by the way. I hate when they go, blah, 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 blah. Care to comment? Like, yeah, sure, Clark can. Fuck. I mean, of course, I'll answer you. Give me a break.
I like it when they tag, like, hey, at Naomi or whatever the fuck. What do you think about what Ben Hamin said about you on the locker? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, at least I'll make her listen. Yeah, man. I don't see anything really with teeth coming back, because here's what's going to be. She drops that. The Office sees it. Oh, she's ready to come back. Cool. Let's bring her back. Yeah. What are we going to do? Something, really good with her? Nah, let her go out there and dance again. Same shit they did with Matt Hardy. Matt trying to do fucking little business in the last 2-3 weeks with birthday messages and shit like that has broken Matt on Twitter. They see it. Matt puts out some shit. I'm taking control of my future and da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah? Are you? Cue the 1998 music. Get out there with the Under Armour and sleeves on and shake your fucking fingers, buddy. Jazz hands it, because that's what we got this week. I cannot believe that he will not say no at that point, dude. 2 times. I don't understand, man.
Everybody, if they're ruled by money at the top, then why can't everybody else just say, hey, I'm fucking doing it for the money, I'm cashing in or phoning it in, and then the ratings will reflect that. I'm not saying they don't have work hard in their matches, but dude, how many times can you show up and say, it's the game of they want to see if he breaks. They want to see if he cracks, if he sells for it. Because then what will happen is, oh, we were about to do it, but you have such a bad attitude now, we're not going to do it. We can't. It'll give a bad message to the other people in the locker room if we push somebody. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Like they'll wait, and then he'll be like, What the fuck? You guys are fucking stupid. Oh, well, we were about to do it, but we were just about to tell Vince, but you cut us off as we were walking just to give you the $100,000 for the episodes. Oh man, that's just a shame. If you just waited one more day, how many fucking times I've heard that bullshit. We were about to.
Brutal. Right. And I wonder if him knowing that, not that he wants to go out there and be 98 Matt Hardy, but if he wanted to get back on camera, if he's doing those tweets and shit just to get them triggered to put him back out there. But I don't think he'd be excited about doing that shit again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just punishment. When I see things like that, it's nothing more than punishment, dude. And
what are you punishing Matt for? You punishing him for Jeff?
He went out and got fucking that probably too. He went out and got squashed by who did he put over?
Buddy Murphy, right?
Yeah, Buddy. Right, man. And then the Buddy Murphy business was with Aleister Black after and shit.
So he was a gloss over. So it was even worse than doing a job in an angle.
Yep. All the dudes they could have picked to put in there, and they did that, dude. Oh, Minga. Rock reveals his Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. He said Hogan, Flair, Gorgeous George, Bruno / Bruno Sammartino, and Steve Austin. I guess, yeah. I don't know if I put Gorgeous George and Bruno in there. I know they have a ton of legacy. Obviously, I'm not trying to belittle them or what they did, but when I think of pro wrestling, that's just not who I think of, either of those guys. I think of the guys who kind of knocked them off and did it better than they did, in my opinion. Yeah. I would have gone Andre the Giant in that spot. That's me. Can you imagine being the Rock?
Biting my fucking tongue right now about this Mount Rushmore Hall of Fame shit and a fake subjective business. Stop. Yeah. Please fucking stop it.
Can you imagine being the Rock and have to deal with fucking questions with that shit, dude? Like, that's what people want to know about. Like, your Mount Rushmore. Oh yeah, pal. Just say he should have given the answer. Well, he's babyface, but I just say, oh yeah, Mount Rushmore. Me, and me.
I would have said the Rock, the Tooth Fairy, Dwayne Johnson, and fucking the guy from Doom.
Jumanji. Stevie, romance is in the air.
Dude, is this that fucking Twitter thing?
Dana
oh my
Brooke
God, man.
And Dave Bautista's Twitter flirting has the internet all hot and bothered. Ooh. This Thanksgiving, we're thankful for Dave Bautista and Dana Brooke, specifically the incredible public displays of thirst the two have been putting out on social media this week. Stevie, in hip-hop, thirst means horny and trolling for some ass. It all started last week when the former world heavyweight champion posted a photo on Instagram of him and now his ex-girlfriend, stating that he was in love. Then just 2 hours later, Big Dave was single again. How about that? Even Dave, a superstar, has to bow down to the social media. I love my girlfriend. I love my wife, after he fucking fucks up around something. You know what I mean? And like as a social apology. So, chances are he was putting the stamp on some little starlet on the side. Bautista tweets, and I'm single again. What the fuck? Brooke, who currently wrestles for WWE SmackDown brand, that's arguable, was recently featured on WWE Ride Along, where she was rejected by a total stranger for a date. To be fair, it was because Mojo Rawley yelled out the window at a random man in a nearby car. Not exactly a meet cute. I don't know what the fuck that is in pop culture, but that's a new thing. Naturally, fans began to tag Brooke and Bautista together on social media, and slowly and surely, a weird, kinky ball of public flirtation started rolling down the hill. It wasn't long before Drax had his shirt off, and Dana was posting gifs of her own butt. And on social media, lost their minds for what we're affectionately referring to as Brooke-tista. So they're flirting back and forth in what is obviously a total work. New all-seeing eye Illuminati sunburst on Dave Bautista's sternum tattoo as well. He looks pretty goddamn lean. And then they're just going back and forth in some type of work to get over, and him trying to get a side slam piece. So good to him. I hope they put out a good sex tape soon and take it to the next level.
Did you see the Renee Young tweet too?
No, I missed that.
It's the best thing on Twitter. I mean, she can't even fucking lay out during this. She has to jump in.
She put that out. It's the best thing on Twitter.
Yeah, the best thing. She's enjoying it or something.
Holy shit! Like this is all they do. And I watched even like this is where they are in their creative process.
That's like if they were in the bedroom or at the second floor of his dojo, like he said, in the mats and jiu-jitsu and all the whatever double L, triple entendres. And they're actually doing it and be like, you should be like, oh my God, you guys are having sex. Oh God, I see it. Oh, okay. Like that's what it's kind of. But dude, is this really? And maybe I'm a little old-fashioned, but come on, dude. What's that? How's this help your brand? How's this looks so fucking cheap on so many different levels. Dave's a legitimate fucking movie star, man.
A star. And she's hot and whatnot and a WWE person, but she's definitely not. Hey.
The dogs are barking. I can hear them. Thanks, Renee. But no, what I mean is like, and then she went through a bunch of shit where her boyfriend like choking to death, right? Or dying, the bodybuilder boyfriend or something, right?
Yeah, choke somebody to death in a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Stop. Get up there and stop.
The dog's being attacked. I hear it. Ben's arguing with his wife. I hear it. See, I'm doing all my Renee Young tweets. Ben isn't on camera. I see it. Ben's coming down the stairs. I hear it. Ben's still not here. Now Ben's here. I see him. I'm doing my Renee Young commentary. I'm tweeting as Renee Young as things happen.
Banda is an asshole. Yeah, he just gets in a psycho mode against wife 122. They're locked in a heated battle. I think she's gonna fucking kill him. He had a good run. Yeah, man, when it comes to that shit, he's got everything to look shitty and ruin his brand, and she's got nothing but up to go to give some side ass and and stunt on the red carpet. So
once again, am I too like, because I've been off Twitter for about 18 weeks now. Mm-hmm. I only know of Twitter through your discussion group on Facebook. Am I looking at this wrong? Because I always look at that like when you put yourself out there that much and then you try to have like a real relationship and then the person sees, or if you get married and they look back at your Twitter timeline and they see you're going back and forth with this shit. I don't know. I guess I just look at the world differently. I look at the world through the Nikon P900. There's a star. I see it. Thanks, Renee.
Well, let's talk about 50-year-olds acting like 17-year-olds on social media. You know what I mean? Like that alone is like, ugh. Yeah. So whatever, man. They're obviously working everybody to get them talking. It's only going to help her career a little bit, I think. But
well, or if Bautista has heat with WWE, that could. I don't know what more they can do to her.
Yeah, if this shit was me and I was half ribbing about it, like, not that the Lashley Lana storyline is anything worth salvaging, but if it actually was something decent along the line, I would do inside ribs where they show Lashley and Lana at dinner at another restaurant, but then you see in the background Bautista and her, just small things like that. You know what I mean? Her and Bautista are in the same restaurant and shit, but it's the Rusev scene. You don't acknowledge it at all. They never see each other. They never put each other over, but small things like that would be fucking phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, I think after the first little tease, it should have went to DMs or text or whatever, if that's what they were planning. I know it's somewhat of just for attention and a work or whatever, but it looks bad. It looks cheap, man. And also, is WWE kid friendly or not kid friendly at this point?
Right.
You're literally showing. I mean, I get someone too aware of that too. If you're her, you're literally showing how you can hook up via Twitter. Like some kid or some young girls looking at that.
Yep.
And weren't you just a month ago writing this long thing as Ashley about your chance and being a role model or whatever the verbiage was?
And respect this business at the end of the day. So what did that get her? Next to nothing. So let's throw the pussy out there online. Let's see what that does. Oh, she's throwing the pussy out. Let's everybody looking. Let's look at her. And now, it's a little bit longer. It just shows such lack of character.
Well, Dana Brooke, you're never going to be on the Hallmark Channel. How's that?
Oh, man. More genitalia. The king of dong style. Joey Ryan celebrates 4 years of dick flipping, people. Today is the 4th-year anniversary of my first dick flip, November 28th, 2015 in Osaka, Japan. On Thanksgiving this year, I want to give thanks to the fans and industry for accepting me and my offbeat wrestling. I don't think I'd get 4 months out of this, much less 4+ years. So post a pic of the first one there. But yeah, man, I mean, there's a guy who probably doubled his indie rate, takes next to no bumps, and everybody has to sell for him. And he's got it figured right now, dude. So no matter what you think of him, this is 4 years of him making money without punching his bump card, dude.
At least he realizes how ridiculous it is. And he didn't think it would last.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yep.
He bought a house dick flipping people.
Yeah.
He did. He said it on, didn't he say it a while ago? He bought his first house.
And even I like that. Not that he buries himself, but he's like, when on his debut at Impact, he was watching it with his dad and shit. He goes, even my dad thinks it's fucking ridiculous, but we watched it from the house I bought. So, he takes it with a grain of salt. And I went up to him at UPW. I talked about this a little bit when he was there as the headliner. Real good show they had there. And I just was like trying to get, what he thinks about marketing or how he's done that, because I've watched the last 4 years and very smart. And I just want to get, any parable I can from someone who's successful of what did you do that you think yielded a great reward to where you are now, or what didn't you do that you did later that you're like, shit, I wish I would have done that sooner. I'm trying to always find those so I can get out of my own way and not make mistakes others did that are a slowdown or a choke point in progress, whether it's business, personal growth, growing of awareness of our brand. So unfortunately, it was just kind of like him saying, not unfortunately, but he was like, just once you find your thing, don't let people change it and run with it and push it, which I appreciate that. But, I was kind of looking for like, man, there was a point and now I need to go this way and don't look back. That conversation wasn't really there, but he was still very cool and understood what I was trying to get at. And it might just be as simple as that for him. You know what I mean? Everybody's path is somewhat different.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's all the way you talk to people too. And sometimes it can come off very aloof if there's not much, if there's a non-answer to it. If he had given that, like, hey man, I never thought it would do this. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Because we all essentially are just throwing shit up against the side of a barn sometimes. And whatever we think won't stick does stick.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe he'll get to a point where, but then again, I just wonder where it goes. I wonder if in his mind he's saying what's next. And he has it in his back pocket of what's next.
I think Impact's good for him because they let him do creatively different things. This week they did the IPWF show. Impact Provincial Wrestling Federation, which is the Southpaw.
I saw that. I didn't know what that was, dude.
Yeah, so they pretty much did Southpaw wrestling, but they did the wrestling, and they did it from Santino's place in Mississauga. So it's set up like NWA. So it's a little bit of a rib on both. They even reference Southpaw to be like, we know what we're doing, but we're giving you the wrestling, and we're still going to get our ribs in. There was, dude, as ribs, and I watched it and laughed and had fun. It was like watching OVW DCW wrestling 101. It was some of the best wrestling where finishes got over and guys didn't have to take crazy excessive bumps and no sell shit. People were winning with sunset flips. I'm like, did Rip book this shit, dude? Like it was, a good fun time. And you could tell the boys and girls were having fun. Sammy did the whole Jim Cornette thing, dressed up as Cornette and called himself Sonny. Shit, I can't remember what it like. Even the names were inside ribs. Like Cornette's Heat was Sonny Kiss would be and something like that. Julian Cumberbund was Ego Ethan Page, and he was the top guy. The girls did a 4 horsewomen type thing, but like it was very sexual. And Jay Havoc was talking about when the tunnel of love comes to town and shit. So swinging her box around, it was pretty fucking good. What else? Richie Swan was like the pizza guy. There's a bunch of different little gimmicks in there. The Deaners got over as kind of like gigolo Chip and Dale type dancers, man. Fucking Cody Deaner was hilarious in it. And then what was beautiful was Swinger. The whole thing was set up for Johnny Swinger to me. And you guys can listen to the Impact Attack. I put it out yesterday, and I apologize because I haven't reached out to Swinger after you okayed that with me. So I'm going to do that today to get him on. But so here we have this throwback to a provincial wrestling Canadian Fed, and all these characters come out, and then out comes Swinger, right, as the guy from that indie time, that indie Fed. But that's great. But here's what's awesome. This guy I worked with on the indies, looks like a random job guy for anybody. Super nice dude. Last week, they had him on regular Impact to do business for Swinger as Buck Gunderson. He wears the Andre 1 singlet. He really doesn't have a body. He just looks like any guy, super nice dude in Canada. This week, they bring him back out to wrestle Swinger, same match, as Buck Gunderson. So they fucking instantly make the reality that Swinger is created, that he's stuck in 1991 or whatever, and put Buck Gunderson in that reality by saying, yes, and you saw him last week, but here he is this week again, right? And he looks old school. Then they kept that game going improv-wise. They had Gama Singh playing himself like he was wrestling, did the fireball. They had Congo Kong as like an old school, you know what I mean, Amazonian heel like Kamala. And then they had somebody else that was old school that was able to kind of come out and be that in the crossover of the worlds to draw the Venn diagram in there. So regardless if they're going to take heat for it being a Johnny come lately on Southpaw, they did deliver on the wrestling. The inside ribs were there for the boys from AEW to WWE to NWA, and probably some that even went over my head, man. But it was an interesting little episode of Impact that way, dude.
That's awesome. Yeah, Swinger has potential to be the most over guy on the show. I just hope they do right by him, because I think Impact will handle comedy way better than WWE, in the vein that they created a world for him, rather than saying he's comedy, therefore he can't wrestle and he's just going to be an idiot that'll run its course. Swinger can live in his own. He can be the new Broken Universe type thing.
Yes, that's
only it's the 80s. Dude, I told him the company is trying to get him on Twitter. I said, they're idiots. You need to start a pen pal thing like the old PWI. You need to have the PO box. You need to have all this stuff. You don't have a smartphone. When people see you have a flip phone, you have the old burner phone. Which is really like, that's him.
I heard they're releasing the T-Mobile Sidekick. They're re-releasing it.
Oh, I love that. I had that thing. So I had a Razor, and I had that for my $30 a month. I'll do the Sidekick again because I loved that little thing. That's what he needs to get.
Yep.
But they need to not. I told him he needs to sell the bandanas that are on his wrist for $5. He needs to be so carny.
Well, he needs to have a Polaroid. Like, he needs to have all the old shit.
He does that for real anyway. That's him. I told him too, dude, if you can help it, they have to have you arriving at the fucking building every time in the old school 4-door fucking caddy like Flair used to drive back in the 70s and 80s. That famous picture of him and Roddy in the fucking Cadillac. Yeah. That it needs to be shit brown or something like that. It needs to be.
Yeah, it's got to be the way Crown Victoria long as it fucking can be. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, they need to really take care of that gimmick. But I'm so afraid, once again, the novelty will wear off to them, even though the people will just.
I don't know, dude. I totally see what you're saying, and it could, but that move, and I've talked about this improv moves, and you're making great ones now and spotting them. The fact that they put Buck Gunderson in there is a fucking brilliant move, dude. A job guy you just saw last week, their numbers are way down, so nobody's going to know about it. But the fact that they made the choice not just for Swinger, which that's his game, they made it again there, that's high-level playing. And I was like, that's something I would have done. So to bravo, whoever made that choice, hopefully it was Swinger. But I wanted to say in the comedy side, what they did for Joey Ryan, his whole new character on that was a pilot. So you're talking Mile High Club shit, and he's got heat with Moose, who was like a Run DMC, Jam Master Jay, DJ rapping dude. But they put it live from the cockpit. So they even played, the dick stuff inside the pilot stuff that way with Joey Ryan. But I think there's plenty they could do. I've come up with a couple things like the ankle cock submission. If he was going to do something with Shamrock, he can get that over. If he goes with the girls, he could lose to the camel toe clutch. Some girl has vaginal power just as strong as his dick thing is. And somebody actually hit me on Twitter saying, what do you think about this spot? So it was Joey Ryan with the girls, and they do the daisy chain thing, right?
Yeah.
And then one girl sits on top of she stands on the second rope, and fucking it goes back to him all of a sudden. And then the girls can flip him that way, but they missed it. They should have got all the way there. The last girl reaches up, grabs the other girl by the crotch, harnesses the power of the vagina. Then that surges back through and cock flips him. So even on their comedy spots that are like waka waka big time that we've seen, there's opportunity to ratchet those up and get even more out of them or change them that way. But they're only doing 70% of the bit. Maybe they don't see it fully, and it takes a producer to do that. But I think there's a lot of things that can still amped up on, and not just a dick flip where people go, well, what are we going to see next? Well, how many puns, dick puns can we get? Which I know a lot of them after working Dick Justice, or cock puns like Cockpit, and put those into finishers and change things like the camel clutch to the Epsteiner recliner. How many things like that can you do for Joey Ryan? I think a lot.
Just have to figure it out. They have a pattern of booking and a pattern of not re-signing guys after they get so over. They invested the time in and then they leave. So these people are all essentially on rent for however long.
They did a good job.
I just don't have a lot of faith. I don't have a lot of faith in them consistently doing anything, and also at the same time consistently trying to pay the talent what they really deserve to want to stay.
Yeah. They did a good job with the younger guys too. And I'm kind of most pumped about this because the Rascals, and forgive me guys, I forget your names. I know I've worked with a couple of you, but the Rascals were the high flying, crazy, no sell, let's do everything to combat the Young Bucks style shit. And then they put them in that 70s show weed smoking thing. And they got way more over than any move ever has. They've been the most entertaining thing on the fucking show. And now they're even mixing in like the dude's mom comes in, or Moose would come in, or RVD, like whatever. They anybody can come in that circle, and it's a cool game to bring people into their world. On this show, all those guys that are super jump and bump guys played timber, gymnasium, like a Sparky Plug character, and they fucking killed it, Stevie, with character. Like they went over the top, but they did it all the spots in time. I enjoyed them working that more than any of the X Division crazy shit I've seen them do, man. And they were having fun. They were getting it over, and it worked, dude. And another team that did the same thing where they're ribbing indie, like younger teams of like, we're the monsters. They paired D'Lo and Fallah Bahh together and put the face paint on them and shit. It fucking worked brilliantly, dude. So it'll be interesting to see if out of this people get booked as their alternative characters going forward, because there was some fucking juice in all of them, man.
Now, is this going to be a weekly thing like Impact, or is this I
think it was just a one-off for Thanksgiving, but who knows, man?
It could become the show. I mean, that's what's missing.
I would actually, if I was touring it, I would open my show with, or in the show have a feature IPWF match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, from on the road at the Armory or something.
Right.
Because then it can look like shit and actually you're not trying to pass it off as good TV.
Right, man. So they've created this new broken world with Swinger, and I hope they realize what they got there. And I know how close you are with them. I mean, keep pushing that, dude, because that's the shit that will get people talking.
Well, you probably shouldn't say that I'm close with him, and I could get him in some trouble with certain people that are also carnies.
Right, but
One of
that's
the
the
vice
shit that'll
presidents.
get them talking, like the broken universe. Like, you could do a whole show that's not IPWF, but through the lens of Swinger, of how he sees things and influences people. His lenses are far different than what the audiences need to be, and you show it from that angle. Could be fucking phenomenal, dude.
And once again, I repeat, that is exactly who Swinger is. He is so against any, like, he hates smartphones, he hates the modern, he hates social media, hates, you watch his promos. That's what got him booked as the character.
Yeah.
Is basically Johnny and Johnny Swinger on this date in this building. I'm coming and blah 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 or whatever. And he's wearing what my wife says is the bedazzled sunglasses. They look like there's bullet holes in the sunglasses and the sequin jacket. So he's been doing this, my God, for 5-10 years. This gimmick.
And it's awesome to see him get that shot. And now there's people being influenced around him by it, dude. It was good. He's shitting Ken Shamrock's bag. Shamrock comes down all hot off camera. Is
that what happened?
Well, he was doing a bit in the back where he meets Petey Williams. He doesn't know it's Petey Williams. He tries to get him to be his young boy. And Petey's like, I've been in this business for 20 years. He's like, yeah, cool. I know, bro. Good for you. There's my bag. Like, and Petey just leaves it. Then they play the game out again the next week, and he's, oh, you're back, brother. And there's another dude. He goes, but I got another young boy. And I can't, it wasn't Eddie. It was one of the Rascals, I think. And he wasn't going to be his young boy either. But Swinger shit in Petey Williams' bag. And it was like a rib, so he's like trying not to put it over. So Petey Williams grabs a bag and rolls out, but it's not the bag that he shit in. It's another bag. And Petey's bag wasn't the one he shit in. In comes Shamrock to talk shit to him, Briz. Hey, brother, da-da-da. He goes, smells me. He's like, you smell like shit, bro. He's like, oh, it's one of those, egg white, double kale. Like, puts over the whole double protein shake. He goes, you want one? And Shamrock's like, nah, bro. Smells him and leaves, not knowing that there's shit in his bag. So the next week, Swinger's in the ring versus Gunderson to go out and beats him, and then fucking Shamrock comes down, you motherfucker, you shit in my bag, off camera or off mic, you know what I mean? So it was really real. I liked it, man. I thought that was fucking really, really funny.
Shamrock's got to be having a good time. He doesn't have to work hard at all now. Good
but
for
that's
him.
where they missed the shot on if they're going to do comedy with Shamrock and he can do that and be the legit badass. They had him do the dick flip with Joey. Yeah. And they could have led so much more with Joey. Like, Shamrock's in the locker room and Joey's dick comes into the scene and it's face to face with Shamrock when he puts his head up and shit. Like, they shotgun that if they were doing it, but that's how you play Shamrock. Put him in with gimmicks and he's real as fuck while everybody's doing their stuff and he gets hot. That's fine. No one's going to say no. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But that shit with him and these small vignettes are pure gold. So if you talk to him, just tell him keep on that path, man, because that's the stuff that's really sticking out. Character outshines fucking moves. And I can't tell you any simpler than that, than the Rascals, who can do every fucking move in the book, sit up like Taker, no sell, kick out on one of anything. But when they're sitting around doing fucking gymnasium and in that 70s show, now I've been into those guys way more than another 450 to the outside and shit like that, man. Good on those guys being that young, listening to whoever's telling them that and applying it and getting something out of it, because that usually takes 10 years for somebody, 20 years for Swinger to be able to get that over instead of fuck wrestling, dude. Wrestling don't mean shit.
So the good show has nobody watching, and the bad show has the most exposure.
Nobody's watching nothing. I mean, but really, Heat on Impact too, because you don't know their numbers. I might reach out just to see, can we get a percentage increase week to week of what it is? You don't got to tell me, but we'd like to help you, because momentum, to be told, is going to get people to tune in, even if you're working me and we're working it out that way. But I don't know, maybe their numbers aren't going up and they don't want to put that out there. Good news for this young lady. Referee Jessica Carr moving to WWE SmackDown. It was revealed tonight after NXT went off the air that NXT referee Jessica Carr has been her final night as a member of the Black and Yellow brand. After the show's main event, Tommaso Ciampa took the microphone and revealed to the Full Sail University crowd that Carr was leaving for WWE NXT and will be making a lateral move to work this week's Friday night SmackDown. So Barry's it backhanded. Good on him. This led to a standing ovation and a thank you Jess chant as Ciampa praised her for being a pioneer, a fantastic referee, and a gem of a person. Her fellow WWE NXT officials then came down to ringside, and Triple Game also appeared to put it over. Cute little thing, kicking ass, man, and good for her. First female full-time on the road ref, WWE.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, there was one back in the 80s, remember?
Oh, yeah. But I don't think she'll be as highlighted as Jess will.
No, she was the one that accused Vince of propositioning her.
Oh, was it? I missed that one. Went over my head. Sorry. So deep cuts from Stevie on this one. Yeah, man. But, and not to say that she hasn't earned it and this isn't her spot. Is this selling for AEW?
Yes. The trend would be look like that.
Yeah.
Because they've had a female referee on. Now they need to show we have a female referee as well.
Right.
But when they show that female referee on Wednesdays opposing AEW, or are they trying to get, see, this is where you overthink it. Or are they trying to overthink it and say, we'll have the female on Friday so it doesn't look like we're trying to be like AEW.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. Hopefully she'll get paid more money. Who knows?
Yeah.
You would assume so if somebody's on TV that they're making good money. But we know better.
I just hope somebody doesn't try and she's a cute girl, man. She's attractive. I hope somebody doesn't try and do something and ruin this opportunity for her up on the road. You know what I mean? Not to say if she's at NXT, she doesn't know how things are already, but
well, she worked in MCW for a while in Baltimore, I think.
Okay.
She's pretty smartened up, I think, about that stuff.
I just don't want to see somebody like that get taken advantage of, you know, and some people will do it just to say who can get there first. Live report of Chicago AEW.
Tell her to stay off Twitter.
Right. I'm just looking through this AEW reports. If there's anything that stands out, I haven't watched the show, so I'm not going to report.
I'll tell you what stands out to me. I sent you a clip.
I didn't get to watch it yet. I know you were pumped with JR versus. Well, here's what we talked about was. What is it? The Butcher and
it was Braxton Sutter. We called it like a week ahead of time. Yeah. So Pepper Parks, Braxton Sutter, now the Blade, and then the big guys, the Butcher, and they even brought Allie back as the Bunny. But here we go again. Excalibur, acting like everybody should know who all three of them are. Even JR, dude, you have to watch the clip or you have to play the clip. If you have the clip on your phone, you have to play it. I want your reaction. Okay. Dude, watch it and everybody can listen. The commentary is what counts. So
you sent it in the Horseman chat.
I did. Right. But dude, I can't explain. You know where I'm going with it, but it's to hear JR.
Oh. And now steps through. Oh, look it up. Figure four. And wide, and man, there's not anywhere to go. Cody's forcing Matt next to tap out. There's a tap. Submission. Victory. It's academic. It may have been academic on the entrances. In any event, Cody is healthy for the first time in quite a while.
Here's your winner, Cody.
And he's looking sharp. As good as there is in the game, folks. My money as there is in this game, period.
And he was inches away from becoming the AEW World Champion, except for the actions of MJF.
Come on.
We don't have to.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
This right here. Let's do that right now. The blade emerging from underneath the ring. Who is it? The blade. And he has blindsided Cody, taking him out. What's his motive? The Butcher. The Butcher not far behind, emerging. Blade and the Butcher. The Butcher are lost here. They took their spot. They got a wounded man who just got cleared.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's not 100%.
Dude, who is this? Why wouldn't you just say, who are these men? Who are, and let them say their fucking name in a promo afterwards after they take those guys out, dude. And Cody's a big mark for that spot because that's how Spears got him in that match where he came up through the fucking bottom of the ring there and cut the apron. Dude, I don't know, man. I huge respect for Pepper, man, but that was not handled the right way on a debut. Like the crowd wasn't way with it. There was a little heat there. They know who it is because they've been putting the stuff over in ESW in Buffalo and drawing a good crowd because Pepper helps run that and getting their stuff over. But man, we needed just a hit and run here with them standing up strong and who are these men and let them get their stuff over, dude.
Well, who are they? And then wait till next week to see who are these people. They're going to be here to explain why they attack. Oh my God, man. But that whole thing, I guess I popped a little too much because I just heard when I'm watching it, just JR, who
is this?
Like, what?
Yeah. That's
and then,
the part.
And then
like
the bunny is Allie, and you're like, why is she this? She's got a completely different gimmick. What made her do that? And why are you bringing all three of them out at once?
We just saw Allie 2 weeks ago for the first time in that Congo Kong shit where she cut her hair.
Yeah.
So now she's
Awesome Kong.
Yeah, Awesome Kong. Sorry. Kong will cut your hair too and take your pizza. Well, what's any payoff there? Now she's a dominatrix bunny that's based off of what she was doing with what's her name? Rosemary, like in Impact. And people again are just supposed to know Allie's a draw by herself and can work. And I'm not saying more over than Pepper, but more known on TV after her Impact run and whatnot. So to tie them together is just them being marks for Cherry Bomb and Pepper or what they wanted to do that way. So that in the first 2 months of TV with a debut of one of your divas, you've already canceled that in 3 weeks to put her with them. So you only get one chance to make a first impression. Why is she with them? Like, what? She didn't even need to be in them. It's about with them. It's about them right here. So I don't know, man. The other thing too is Pepper. I'm surprised he's got like the skullet, going, dude. His hair's going up top. It looks like in that clip, like he should be clean.
I thought his head was shaved for a while. It was shaved.
He has for almost his whole career had shaved head since I've known him. And then here it looked like 3 months of growth of like wispy hair that's kind of falling out. I don't know if that's what they want it to look like older men, but I think he looks way tougher with a shaved head, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I just think what is going on in the production meeting and why it feels like they're not Spartan and JR up to anything.
No.
I think he can't be doing that just to play off because he's got to be like, why am I going to sound stupid? Like, I don't know who these guys are, but you guys know exactly who these guys are. And you have to explain to me. And it kills the moment too.
How does Excalibur know and JR don't? Yeah, absolutely. Where, Excalibur, I'm a mark for the Indies, JR. I know all these guys. Like, at least say that. But instead of just, you have to know who the hell this is right out of the gate. And then even in the beginning of that, people were hitting me up like, AEW, who the hell is Matt Nix? Like, I've worked with Matt Nix a fair amount, man. And in Chicago, not matches, but been on cards with him. And before he started his own thing. And some people say good stuff about him. I never had a problem with, or bad stuff about him. I never had a problem with him. I heard some ego issues, like when you become an owner, that's how it is in anything, but that's here or there. That's all hearsay. But here he is doing, laying down for Cody. to get this business done for that. And they're hiring Matt Nix because he owns Black Label Pro, another fed that former co-host Nick Hausman went to and burned bridges. But in Chicago,
Seth Rollins one.
Oh,
that's Brave and the Black.
That's
Black and the Brave.
Yeah. This is right out of Chicago, and they do some SJW shit too. But here's where the fan base of AEW was built. That Chicago base out of Black Label, kind of doing a 2CW light version like that. So I can't hate on it. I'm happy for him. But a lot of people are like, who is this guy? We're having enhancement talent that Cody. Why couldn't Cody beat one of the guys on the roster is my point. Because at least that the guy on the roster is going to get a little bit of shine as Cody comes back up the ranks.
Mm-hmm. And JR's commentary on that was strange. Like it was academic. It was academic on the entrances. Like basically this was a waste of time. Like it didn't look like, you see what I mean? Like you're telling us, well, there's no reason you should even watch this match, because if you see this kind of match again, don't even bother. I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I would have had Cody really babyface saying, "Hey, I lost, man. I'm no better than anybody else in AEW." And I'm not saying there's a lower card, but I'm gonna
I'll start at the bottom.
Yeah, I'll start at the bottom, take a match, man. I'll pull one out of a hat and give a guy a shine, on there, and go down and do that. Just be humbled. That would have made Butcher and Blades even more impactful, I think. So a lot of like small things that could have been tuned up. And to me, this feels like Cody wants to debut them. He wants to do good business for Matt Nix and Black Label because they're in Chicago and that's where the fan base is. But he's stretched too thin on a bunch of other stuff. So this segment suffered because of it. JR wasn't smartened up. Matt Nix wasn't over. He didn't see the business of him losing and going to the bottom of the pecking order and how to actually get those guys over to the fullest extent. And I think that's from being an executive vice president, a producer, a fucking, all that, dude. These are the small details that get left behind that could really have tightened up a scene, which is what he really needs to be focused on most of all at this opening time. So I'm not going to talk about that one. I don't care about diamond rings. A little bit of bubbly now available to buy during tonight's AEW Dynamite. Chris Jericho revealed the fans can now actually purchase a little bit of the bubbly with a limited stock available. That's right. Legitimate sparkling wine has been created named a little bit of the bubbly, which will go on sale December 5th, with fans being able to pre-order 2 bottles costing $46. Says here's their website. You can go and find that. I'm sure you guys a little bit of the bubbly.com, I believe is what it is. So yeah, cashing in, man, on small short runs. I can't hate on that. I think we're gonna do something. I was talking to Triple D, because I love Dippin' Donuts coffee. I think it's the best. But there's a local company that ships out. You can get it local here called Broasters. And I think he's going to do something with them. And he actually pitched them about a limited edition Vince Russo Broasters coffee with Big Bro in the front. So, I like these small batch things where guys can do a catchphrase or what have you, and we can find some small batch thing for collectors to get their hands on. I think.
Oh, you cut off there.
No,
you cut off for.
Oh, sorry. Ed. I just think that's pretty small batch. Yeah, awesome. She's probably streaming something upstairs.
Milking the fans a little bit of that bubble.
Roderick Strong replaces. Yeah, I like that they can do small batch runs with that kind of stuff. I think there's plenty to get done there. Roderick Strong replaces Bobby Fish due to injury. Could Undisputed Era retain their titles? Here we go with Russo's. We're replacing guys with other guys that we don't even know. I worry because Bobby Fish got hurt right before he got signed to NXT on one of the last. He was didn't get hurt on the show, but I know he was hurt Dynasty shows that there was, I believe, before he moved down there. And I wonder if it's the leg again on the hamstring. He doesn't really outline it. But Undisputed Era, man. is there money there, dude? I just say no. As much as they keep pushing on people, I could be wrong, but I'm just not into them.
Well, they kind of threw all three of them together at a really quick pace rather than getting three of them over and having them join up. They never got over as singles wrestlers, even though Adam Cole wrestles as a single. They never got over as individuals before they teamed, or at least Adam Cole got over on his own and then joined up with them. And Roddy had his own deal, but then he turned heel. It's weird. I can't even. It all kind of goes and mushes together. I forget how long they've been together for over a year or two, right?
Yeah, even since ROH days too. So again, this is just WWE.
Oh, I just been on NXT.
Yeah, put them in a group, and we'll see who breaks out, who flies, and who doesn't. I mean, that's from Nation of Domination to whatever you want to say. I mean, they've done, not that NOD was as green as those guys are in some degrees, but that's what just a WWE thing. We'll see who sinks and swims. We'll get them all over together, and then that formula blew up in their face plenty of times too. It works with New Day, but it didn't work with Nexus or whatever the fuck. So I don't know. I don't think switching Bobby Fish or Kyle O'Reilly in for Bobby Fish is going to like, really? Okay. Bobby Fish is actually my favorite wrestler out of all four of them because I like his Muay Thai shit. So hopefully he gets well soon, man. Got kids for sure. Tom Phillips fills in for Mauro Ranallo. Mauro Ranallo is not part of NXT commentary team this evening. He's been replaced by Tom Phillips for this week only. Phillips has been filling in for Ranallo, joining up with Nigel McGuinness and Beth Phoenix to provide commentary for the show. Not really the big story there. The big story is, Corey Graves putting out the tweet. We've got a Hall of Famer and a former ROH champion on commentary. We should probably mention them too, which is a direct shot backhandedly at Mauro, and the marks that go off on him, loving what he's doing on the internet because it's different than everybody else. It gives us that Joey Styles kind of feeling in a new way. And why would Graves do that? Because he's worried that somebody's coming for his spot who does what we want to do a lot better than he does it. And then story follow-up on that, supposedly, after Mauro goes off Twitter and shuts it down and doesn't show up for the show after that, the next night, people don't really know with the depression or the bipolar stuff of what frame of mind he's in. Corey Graves does the tweet, apologize, dive, repeat bit, too little, too late. And story hits the sheets that Graves has got plenty more heat than that for being a cocky motherfucker backstage where people want to lay him down. So, a dude who's already got heat taking shots at a guy who's coming for his job, who has legit skills, short on the other end, knows that he can shut him down possibly and trigger him. It's a very telling situation.
Well, I don't know what to say about all that. I don't, because Mauro should have enough. I mean, he's got to realize how good he is.
Right.
And when Corey Graves does that, Mauro's been treated very well for, like, there's been times throughout the past and past generations up at that company where, just like headshots and all these, you weren't educated on what was going on in someone's mind or what someone goes through on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So you would be ribbed and you would be fucked with even more if you showed that weakness. Thank God we're in a time right now where when it happened with Bradshaw, that they put him back on NXT and got him away from that situation.
Right.
Now with Corey Graves doing that, it's kind of like to the point where I wish Mauro would just be like, hey, dude, fuck you. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Or look to see, all right, this guy's talking. And if he does have heat with all the boys like he does, then it doesn't matter what he says to me because he's just an asshole.
Well,
I can't believe, because he used to be a good kid, man. I don't know if he still is or isn't, but Corey Graves used to be a good kid when I would see him on the indies, and he would come as a local when we were in Pittsburgh, when I was in WWE. I just don't get it. I don't get what happens to people up there.
Yeah, well, this is interesting to me too, because last week a lot of people put over the Friday locker room because, again, Hamin was shooting on the Punk stuff and whatnot. My experience with him, this, not that Graves is in the same spot as, or Ranallo's in the same spot as an up and comer, but this feels like the same big leaguing for no reason to trigger somebody just to be an asshole. And where I got hot last week saying if I had the juice I have now, or just who I am as a man, and it wouldn't have cut my throat, or I wouldn't have cared as much then, I would have fucking put his face through a wall based on that type of shit. And I feel Graves is kind of in the same spot where there's guys looking at him who want to put his face through a wall for 3 or 4 other fucking reasons. And now I fucking thin ice, bro. Real thin ice. And that's why the tweet apologized, I repeat, came out after that.
What did he tweet?
Hopefully he can get his shit together. He tweeted that there was a ROH champion and a Hall of Famer on commentary, but but nobody wants to talk about them.
So no, but you said apologize. I didn't know if he apologized after that.
It wasn't like directly to Mauro. He's like, it was some shit about I would never intend to hurt any of our fellow cast members along those lines. And the other tweet was taken down. So just more fucking stupid Twitter thumb shit from the guy who acts like he's over and supposed to be smart as fuck. They just can't stop themselves, whether it's that or I love the business. I just want my one shot and I'm going to show everybody what it is. And here's what I can do. And I've been striving and I can't wait to, it's a women's revolution. Oh, Bautista, I'll suck your dick on the jiu-jitsu floor. Oh, okay, cool.
Was that tweet really sent out?
No, but
pretty much.
Right. That's what it's fucking saying.
Yeah,
like it's out there. When you say thirst and fucking and dance around it like, oh, they're gonna go out for coffee, that's not what's fucking going down. Eric reveals Triple H wasn't pleased with the Viking Experience name. Stevie, he said on the After the Bell podcast, we got him, we were able to talk to him and we were able to plead our case about the name. It sounds like a Disney ride. And then we started shooting off other options. We had at least 10 names we were giving them, and the last one we gave them were the Viking Raiders. He kind of paused on that one and was like, all right, well, this is how we're going to introduce you, the Viking Experience. And we're not feeling that going forward. Maybe we can change it to something else. So
that's how it was put out, that like, let's put this out, but if it doesn't get over, then we'll do something else.
Eric revealed on After Bell that after they asked Triple H if the name was real, he simply shook his head and told them to go seek out Vince McMahon. So they were talking to Vince, and that's what they got. Went to Game. Game shook his head and said, go talk to mom. Go ask your mother. Go ask your father. Go ask your mother. What'd your father say? No? Then no. Right? With your creative, man.
Let's just put up with this thing to get your first impression not over at all, and then we'll come back and we'll give you another first impression. Then we'll give you some locals, and then after about a year, we'll give you vignettes so that people can get to know you.
Yeah,
what in the world, man.
And
you do understand, these people that are listening or watching have to understand that these are not just independent wrestling decisions of, I'm going to call you gymnasium, I'm going to do that. There's departments where you have intellectual property, you trademark the name, you have things put on posters. There's money put in. It can't be taken lightly. It wasn't before. It seems to be now, like throwing good money after bad. Like, oh yeah, we'll just give them Viking Experience. We'll get a trademark. We'll do all this stuff, that blah, blah, blah. Then 4 months later, we'll call them Viking Raiders. And then we'll switch it all over. This is like, dude, you got way too much money. There's going to come a time where that money, you're going to want it back, that you're wasting on all this stuff.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy that they just go that experience, the Viking Experience. It's like it's digestible. People want real strong details. If Vikings is the fucking one of the biggest shows on TV, give me a name of a rune, something that sounds completely Norse and is not the American, whatever it is there, where they have to learn a word, and that becomes part of the lexicon and things like that. Like, people want to be on the inside with those little bits of knowledge, not like, it's a Viking experience. I understand Vikings, everybody. Huss. Like, ugh. The real hook is in the details of those guys believe in it. And I'm surprised he hasn't come down, like we said it, on Hansen for how he looked when he got signed to kind of how he is now on the road. I mean, with their characters, it doesn't hurt him a ton, and he's super athletic, but like, dude, I think he really needs to buckle down and get that body back in shape where it was, because otherwise that could open them up to being like, these guys aren't serious about what we're doing. Take them off, you know?
Yeah, and he's a guy who was when I met him, he was doing a lot of great. He had lost a ton of weight because he was doing the Handsome Johnny gimmick up in Massachusetts for Chaotic and around that area.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a heavy, good kind of doughy guy, and he had short hair, no beard, stuff like that. But he started juicing and doing a lot of like cleanses and stuff like that. And I think he avoided meat. And when I met him, he said, I lost like 70 pounds doing that. So maybe being on the road, he doesn't have access to that type of diet. So you're going to balloon up real quick. It's no excuse. And I've said it before about the girls. When you first really get on the road with them, there's such an adjustment period to get your routine down, to get you kind of like, maybe you're exhausted those first couple months and you can't train. You don't eat well. You're up every morning at an airport and whatever it is. To me, I doubled down on that because I'm like, man, I need to eat right. I need to train because I can't fucking, it's the only way I can deal with it is to control these two things. Because my life is not my own right now. They're telling me where to go, where to be, where to travel to. I'm theirs. They own me. So I got to do this. So that's the way I would look at it.
I think so too, man. They need to stay, well, not hungry for food, but hungry to be on top. And to do that, you got to look the right way. And the farther away you go from that, you know how much work it takes to even get back to moderate, let alone awesome shape. So I hope
they sort of were just given their title win and all that other stuff was so everything's anticlimactic there. But who cares? They're just another team to have it, and I'm sure they're just going to drop it when another team comes along they need to get over, and then they're back in the mix.
Well, they're a perfect example of 91 to 93 Duke the Dumpster Drosy Wrestling, when they could fucking be a top pop culture thing, a very cool look under their own, big WrestleMania entrances, all the type of shit. But here we are, just back to like, you're the Viking, you're the clown, you're the this. Like, okay. And that's all you're going to get.
By the way, really quick, I didn't mention this one before. Hell, it hurts their brand because we're talking about tag teams right now. It hurts the entire brand of the WWE when they go to Saudi, and we're going to find out on that show who the greatest tag team in the world is. Like, what about the champions? What do you see what I mean? No. When we go to Saudi, that's where we're going to find out who the real best in the world is.
Right. Now that the other stuff was the phony world. This is the real world where these guys.
But do you get the disconnect there? You do, I do, but I guess with money, it's like, whatever, let them call it whatever they want. It's literally a money mark saying, that's the world title, but this is the galaxy title. Like, I'm going to call this because my show is bigger and I paid for the whatever. I mean,
I popped yesterday too. I didn't go too hard in on him because it would have been super heel, but I'm working Chris LaPlante Crossfire Wrestling grudge match in St. Catharines on December 7th. And he debuted I shouldn't laugh at this on camera. He debuted the autism title because it's a charity that he supports a lot. So they took it to debut it and took pictures of it standing there with two, adult guys with autism, and they got the fucking belt upside down in the picture. It's just like that kind of shit without going in hard. I just put the belts upside down, and like that was enough to get him. But dude, I just like, if I really wanted to go in here, bro, like you can't set me up with soft serves like that, bro. You just can't. Oh shit. Our final
title for everything, don't they?
The autism title, autism awareness. Hit you with it enough, you might develop autism, I guess, in a couple belt shots.
Watch enough wrestling.
Yeah. Final story. We made it, Stevie. Eric Bischoff discusses Jim Cornette's NWA comments. Quote, who's going to hire him? Eric Bischoff recently spoke spoke on 83 Weeks podcast where he gave his opinion on Jim Cornette's recently NWA commentary that led to his resignation. Cornette had to resign from the company after his controversial comments during an episode of NWA Power was stated. Trevor Murdoch's the only person who can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter through Ethiopia. Trevor Murdoch can take care of himself. During the podcast, Bischoff touched on those comments, stating that Cornette hasn't moved with the times of wrestling. Quote, Jim is a guy that's reluctant to adapt. And sorry, 1 second. I got to pop up here. He's a guy who's reluctant to adapt. Really unfortunate because he's a talented guy. He's an entertaining guy, and he's a very knowledgeable guy, Bischoff stated. But if you're not willing to grow and evolve into understanding the implications of some of the things that you do and say and how it affects other people adversely, then you're going to get put out to pasture. I hope that doesn't happen with Jim, but apparently that's kind of what it appears to be. He then went on to question whether Cornette's going to do what's Cornette's going to do in the future, as nobody will hire him. He says, I don't know where he goes from here. Who's going to hire him? Bischoff asked. At this point, probably nobody. Do you think that might be some also self edification and awareness there? He might be talking about himself.
I don't know, but I'd say Cornette would probably have another job in the future.
Yeah.
They just keep getting hired, dude. These people just keep getting hired. It doesn't, and he does have a great mind for the business. There's going to be something somewhere where someone will do it. Hell, you were talking about who's got the one thing you said ACH would work for? Master P?
Yeah.
You're frozen. Was it Master P?
Yes. Master P bought HOG Wrestling.
Yeah. You
House
don't think
Glory.
Cornette coming in as a heel? HOG would be. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
If you want to, the heat's the only thing that's going to really draw.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have all black baby faces or all baby faces in general. I remember Urban Wrestling. Remember that with Donovan Morgan used to wrestle there, and like every white person on the show was a heel. It was so bad. I mean, the bad in a way where it was just like multiple camera shoots on pre-tapes that were really odd and weird.
Yeah.
Like an Orlando Jordan pre-tape. You guys have to watch it. It's on YouTube. But Donovan was just a heel for being a white guy in urban wrestling. It's crazy that would, but if you want somebody that's got a ton of heat right now in a way, you bring Cornette out as a heel commentator and then just sit back and watch it and make it live. I'm half
let him go.
Yeah, I'm half joking, but I'm half joking, but there's also plenty of places where Cornette will end up working. There's still going to be conventions. There's still going to be signings. The guy's made a ton of money. I'm sure he saved most of it or as much as he could. He's got nothing to really worry about. And he still has his podcast, right? So he's got ads. It's not like he's been completely blacklisted from making money any way he could, right?
Right. And there was talk when I was in that OVW production meeting when I went out down to visit of him coming in to do a full history of wrestling course. And then I, put it out there. I was like, dude, it's not about face to face. Sure, you can do that here, but you got to get all that online, bro. With his library of just going through it, you could do a 5-level year wrestling college course and sell that online. Mm-hmm. So I think that might be a way he's going next. And if he wants to stay out of the public, that'd give him a nice project that'll take a year to do probably and get that shit over, man. But I just find it funny, pot in the kettle, not that whacked over something he said, but maybe it's because what he didn't say, because the phone was off at 7 p.m, because he didn't know people's names behind the scenes. So like Mojo Raleigh or whoever the frig, right? So they're setting up to fail, and I don't want to see it be, but JR's kind of in that same spot right now a little bit. Not that they're trying to cut his throat, but if you keep putting him out there, not knowing Japanese stuff, not knowing indie stuff, not smarting him up, you're hurting your product and you're hurting the credibility and legacy of JR.
Where do you think that goes?
I think they keep him on the payroll as an agent because they love him. We're all marks for him. He's a part of our childhood, but it's not the look. And that was the other thing. I didn't say this story. Cody, they trademarked all these WCW pay-per-views, Bash at the Beach, 2 others. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you could do Bash at the Beach for the Jericho Cruise or whatever. We already got Kevin Sullivan as your goddamn, top guy doing production. And now the way wrestlers look into cameras or the way the show opens, it feels like Nitro. And Nitro lost to WWE, got their ass kicked because of the hokiness and the shit like that. And yeah, Dusty's legacy is awesome, but Dusty made a lot of shitty, corny 1980s decisions in the 90s that made shit look stupid. Like, I thought Sting sucked in the 90s because he looked like some 80s dude trying to capture some shit. He wasn't never cool to me. And then the other part of that was he stole Flair and Bret Hart's offense, and that was his whole thing. And they want to push him. So now they're going to go back to those WCW off pay-per-views just because it's a fuck you to WWE that they could trademark them. Now, if you don't use them and you trademark them and you just have them, I like that as a war move. If you're going right back into WCW production to do Road Wild and that kind of shit, big mistake. Like, you're the cool guys on the forefront. The shit like Fyter Fest, that's where you want to be. What's the next cool thing that's coming? That's a Coachella Burning Man that you can be on the forefront ribbing and doing that. To go back to nostalgia for shitty WCW pay-per-views, big mistake if they do that.
Yeah, they should be at places like CES, like the E3, running TV there.
Right.
Stuff
With
like
video game references, like, not that I play, but I'm sure there's got to be some Halo or, what's the other one the kids do with the fucking dance?
Dance Revolution.
No, it's like a fight game, but they all the characters dance. That's where that
AEW?
Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, there needs to be references from that kind of shit. That's their tap in. You go back to, thanks, Matt, Slamboree or Super Brawl. Come on, bro. Like, big mistake. If they just bought those as an FU and they're going to shelve them, I got no problem with that. But if they're going to try and revive them, how is WCW Light going to beat WWE? That's a bad idea, dude.
Well, who was in the room saying that would be a good idea to move forward with these names when we're getting some pretty original names, All In, All Out, Double or Nothing, Full Gear,
right?
Things like that are good foundations, Right. I mean, what are you going to buy TNAs next? Have Final Resolution and Victory Road? And
right.
I mean, you got to imagine too, how far, let's try to keep somewhat of a tally here. Everybody's getting paid 6 figures. These live TVs, 2 hours, got to cost at least $200,000 a week to run. You're frozen again.
Yeah.
So $200,000 a week to run.
Sorry. Back. Yeah.
No, it's okay. You're paying somebody 6 figures a year, and also you're flying talent in. Some talent's Japanese. Are you flying them in? Hotels. Are you taking care of hotels? There could be medical bills. There could be all these things. Even though you started with $100 million, which I don't know if the father gave him the $100 million up front. If you're going for $100 million investment, how much do these trademarks cost that you may need to put that money somewhere else? Oh, let's not forget, even getting tractor trailers, wrapping the tractor trailers up, getting the billboards in New York City.
Steve, Strangler Steve sent me pics from Times Square yesterday with the AEW digital billboard, full building size.
So it adds up to a point where when are they going to have a conference call where someone could say, where are you at financially? Where's your balance sheet? How much money have you spent of the $100 million? How much have you made off these shows? Because we saw the Hamin Tarp Emporium start to fucking get some business as these TVs went along, right?
Even
they're not sold out houses, right?
No, and even in Chicago, people were hitting me up last night with that.
How many? I mean, how full was it or not full?
2/3. So not where we want to be. You know what I mean?
Well,
not where they had the crowd stacked on one side where you couldn't see holes.
This is what we talked about before. When you have a pay-per-view every other month, or you have StarCast every other month, every 2-3 months with the show. Now it's like it's a special event. How's it going to draw each and every week? Then what's going to happen with StarCast? Like, how did StarCast draw in Baltimore for Full Gear? Were numbers down there? Now you're seeing like people can only afford to do the WrestleMania weekend every so often.
Yeah, you got to go where your big money spenders are. So they'll hit Chicago and Vegas, but I don't know, man. I don't think they're gonna. Matt says in the chat room that Cody bought them, but not AEW. But to me, that's the same thing. Unless he just used them for a rib on Pro Wrestling Tees to get that out there as an FU where their diehards would buy some throwback shirts. I don't see any more value than that. And I don't think trademarks might cost that much. If he was waiting, they might have a whole list of saying, let's see what comes up next, just so we can take shots at him. I think they're only like $350 to trademark.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought there might have been some connected intellectual property, even because of footage or anything like that.
I think if they're not going to use them, it's a smart little thing to do and upset the order of things on the sheets, because now you're going to take their lawyers or whoever who might have been working on something else to F you over. And Vince like, they got those, goddamn it, we got to make sure all the rest are locked down. Well, there's another week or two of somebody doing another job instead of picking away at you. So for a $700 investment to be a fly in the ointment could definitely be a smart move. I just think it's a bad move if they do go that way. And I think there's a 70% chance they'll use both of those.
I agree. Was there a blurb that somebody at WWE suing Cody or something? Something about that. I saw something in your group. I don't know.
Alcia, I'll put it out there. I sent something to Russo that William Alcia, just a rib. You know, I can't say what else we're talking about, but this story plans for Seth Rollins align with AOP indirectly and not actually appear with them. First feud with Kevin Owens, which will be short program, will also have AOP involved. Third, Rey Mysterio will lose the title to Seth Rollins after Rollins feud. And then Seth Rollins will break up with Becky Lynch and align himself with Lacey Evans, while Orton will pair up with Lynch and tag team against each other at Royal Rumble. And then Seth Rollins will face CM Punk at WrestleMania 36. So do any of those sound like brilliant storylines that are going to bring back 500,000 viewers overnight?
I just can't believe they wrote the storyline before Seth and Becky even got together. A year ago, they wrote this.
they knew about from Hamin Media Group, which is also Matt Schaffer. Don't try and work me, motherfucker. Cody Rhodes implies WWE is suing AEW. The battle between WWE and AEW is currently playing out on Wednesday nights in the war between Dynamite and NXT on USA. However, one of all elite executive presidents has implied on Twitter that his company is being sued. Sounds like I'll be going to court soon. Time to go suit shopping. Cody Rhodes. So he accompanied this with a welcome to Pettyville gif. Some have speculated this could be Vince McMahon's WWE is taking AEW to court, especially considering they're going to war between the two companies. Something about the Bash at the Beach episode with the WWE owned the term, but it's believed that Cody filed for the trademark earlier this year. Some have speculated this is the reason WWE is suing AEW, so over IP. But again, these are the little behind the scenes war moves that chip away at $100 million because lawyers are super cheap, as you know.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
guys.
think Cody needs any more suits, by the way. I think he's fine.
No, I don't either. Interesting week of appearances in AEW with guys that are, doing business, from Matt Nix to them to Butcher and the Blade. I don't think they got max value out of that. And we'll see if, what the numbers will be with NXT versus AEW after this fallout. I don't think either company did anything to really improve their position. Huge it was on the sheets and then it wasn't. So another story saw that the main roster is hot, that NXT went over on them all. Like, the boys know that they all got buried for the good of NXT and WWE, and now there's heat with that. So writing staff probably heat with the boys, and no one further trust each other there.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Well, hopefully things will get corrected. It'll be an interesting week for us, Stevie, as we keep Ultra Kayfabe tight-lipped and not tell any of our business, but we could drop a nuclear bomb on this industry very soon, almost anytime we want. So we'll see how things go. It's going to be a big cardio and gym day for a lot of people. A lot of roaring elbows thrown out there on Black Friday. A lot of Hacker Hamin Stevie 5 codes on Cyber Monday. A lot of Amazon links for Stevie, you guys, as you get all the shit that you don't need for a fake holiday that worships Saturnalia right around the corner.
Yep, that's right.
We'll tell the truth about that as I'm sure it gets closer. Try and get our energy back up as we were a little bit low for the Conspiracy Horsemen this week. I mean, it's better than those early shows when we were on the road and dialing in, from the car. But we only want to give you guys the best stuff. So we're trying to step our game up as much as we can with so many opportunities coming in. We don't want to let any balls drop or give you lackluster performance, because there's nothing we beat ourselves up more than after when we get out of the ring or out of a show and go, fuck. Hindsight being 2020, we should have done this, that, and the other, and we didn't deliver how we could have. That's just the part of performances. You're not going to step up the plate and hit a home run every time, and you got to figure out why, correct your swing, and take another chop at it, man. And that's what we're here to do. Stevie, what do you got going down for the holiday weekend, brother?
Well, I'm still looking to build that PC if I'm going to do that, or just say screw it and go with a Mac. Not quite sure. Like I said in the beginning, I'm going to upload the star footage that I got early this morning. That'll go up on the YouTube channel tonight. We did a Thanksgiving episode 15 of the Stevie Richards broadcast. That's up at hackerhamin.podbean.com, as well as the YouTube channel. We're closing on 50,000 subscribers. So, but somehow still shadow banned with only a few hundred views per video. So the views count. So go there, subscribe. And of course, there's not going to be any Black Friday deals on Stevie Richards Fitness. I'm sorry, $15 for a workout program. You want a coup. I'm sorry to be a dick, but
dude, it's Blue Friday deals over there already. You're pretty much getting it at 80% off of what any other program that you would even want to step to. If you're going to spend the money on beachbody.com for the P90X and all that kind of stuff, that's $100. I mean, they started $3. You can get direct contact with Stevie, the group, get the bands, get the videos for 85% off. It's crazy. And it's not because it's a lesser program by any means, because we're not here to fuck you over, because we love how loyal our diehards are, and we want to inspire people to become healthier in the new year. It's got nothing to do with quality of product versus price. So any marks out there who might say that shit or are going to get into yoga heavy, I might suggest you try this out before you spend big dollars, and you'll see just as better and more improvement if you stick to it.
Well, thank you. And try emailing Tony Horton, see if he answers.
Yeah. See how well he gets back to you.
That's about it.
Yeah,
do use the Amazon link though, and use the affiliate codes, because they help too. And, if you don't want to buy the programs, that's cool. But there's free ways to support all of our content. Even if you want to buy a t-shirt, that's cool. ProWrestlingTees.com/BenHamin /GreekHopBaba /SEG shirts /Hamin Media Group and /Stevie Richards. See how I put myself last. But the free stuff is the Amazon link, is using the affiliate codes for stuff you're going to buy anyway. So, and I get a gift card. It's not like I'm getting paid. I put that back into this stuff via buying stuff at Amazon.
Right.
So
I think we got real lucky. I requested, I think we're at ProWrestlingTees.com/HMG.
Oh, cool.
Real sexy with it. So I don't know if the new Horseman shirt's up there, but we're going to put up 3 or 4 other shirts. I talked to Sal because, and I'll stooge off their business. I don't care. Until you sell 25 t-shirts, you can only have 4 designs. So I'm looking not just to be like, we need to sell 25 so we can get more, but I was like, all right, well, what should be 4 great ones? Obviously Conspiracy Horseman. I think Horror Junkyard could have a really cool shirt. It said, talk to Eric Kent and Rivera and Sal, those classic Creature from the Swamp posters far better than I do. Tell me what's going to work there, what people would want. And I think that's the way to go. So I'm excited about seeing a Horror Junkyard shirt here pretty soon. And maybe we'll even do something for the Infinite Fringe. I think that would be, we've got such great ones that way. Maybe Greg Mosier could do something for us for Infinite Fringe. And then probably a locker room shirt that'll cover all of us together. And then, like I said, guys, 25 shirts sold, which shouldn't be anything. We can go hog wild and get all the shirts up there. But we appreciate all the Black Friday sales that help keep supporting our platform. It's always nice to get those emails, whether it's Zordos Olive Oil or, Pro Wrestling Tees or Stevie Richards Fitness or any of these side projects or Patreon for Russo that we have going on, because, other guys see that in the business, and that's actually affording us some opportunities. You guys took Russo from 220 Patreons. I think we're over 500 still. And, you say 500 in web numbers, that doesn't mean when people are getting millions, but I'll tell you what, those 500 people are staying with it because the content's great, it's dedicated, it's extra, and they are brand loyalists. So absolutely appreciate that. And if you were a fan of Master Shoot and now you're not getting as much on the Raw and SmackDown review, well, it's only better, you guys. So like any good drug dealer, I'm going to give you a taste and fucking take it away. And then you'll come pay top price for it. That high price of $3 for my comedy, our comedy, not my comedy. I'm not
your comedy. I'm
not ever going to
I'm a straight man. That's all it is.
Without that, there is no,
I just do my Johnny Ace impression once in a while.
There's more and more impressions coming, you guys. They seem to.
I did a Finkel too. I did a Howard Finkel.
It's a set. Yeah, your Finkel was. We'll do a Seth off maybe on the next one with me and Russo. But like you said, you got all the links, guys. You know where it is. Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. Back in action here. Post Thanksgiving, get you through the holidays so you don't have to talk to your family. And we're your family here. HackerHamin.pod being infidels, and I'll slap you around just like your old man if you get out of line. So get your elbows off the table, Mabel. YOLO.